older man convinces a younger one of the mechanistic nature of human behavior and the absence of free will. The belief system in what is man is often dismissed as pessimistic product of Twain's woes late in life, but he presented its core ideas in a Hartford intellectual salon much earlier, in 1883. This adaptation changes the exchange from old man and young man to one of mother and daughter to update the impact, to try to recreate the shock in the present that Twain's friends and readers must have felt when they encountered his nihilistic philosophy. Viewers of the Gospel of Mom might reasonably question if this can be a healthy conversation for a parent to have with a child, and yet if it is all true, as Twain believed, he called it his gospel, why foster illusions? The mother is relentless, though never cruel. Her language retains some of the formality of Twain's original, no contractions for example. The child's language is completely natural.
Here are some fun facts about Mark Twain. Mark Twain is the pen name of Samuel Langhorne Clemens. Born November 30th, 1835. Died April 21, 1910. The name comes from the language of steamboating. Mark Twain means that the river bottom is 2 fathoms down. Twain was a steamboat pilot for 4 years, from 1857 to 1861, when the Civil War closed the Mississippi River to commercial traffic. Mark Twain was born in the tiny village of Florida, Missouri, and grew up in nearby Hannibal. He called many places home in his lifetime: Nevada, California, Europe, and New York City. But his happiest, most settled period was in Hartford, Connecticut, where he and his family lived for 20 years. Mark Twain was married for 34 years and had 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son. He outlived his wife and all his children but one. Daughter Clara, whose only child, a daughter named Nina, had no children. He has no living descendants. Mark Twain was often on the move. He became famous as a travel writer with his book The Innocents Abroad, and over his lifetime he earned more royalties from his travel books than from his fiction. He crossed the Atlantic 29 times since he was born in the U.S. and died in the U.S. How can this be an odd number? The answer of that one is the 29th crossing was part of a around-the-world tour. Mark Twain was an inventor and held several patents. His most successful venture was a self-pacing scrapbook. Unfortunately, his attraction to inventions led him to invest a fortune in a failed typesetting machine. As a result, he had to declare bankruptcy. But thanks to income from his around-the-world lecture tour at the age of 60, he had a full financial recovery.
Mark Twain said, "Man is the only animal that blushes or needs to." One of the most striking differences between a cat and a lie is that a cat has only 9 lives. As to the adjective, when in doubt, strike it out. The difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter. It's the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. Classic, a book which people praise and don't read. Why is it that we rejoice at birth and grieve at a funeral? It is because we are not the person involved. Mark Twain did not originate these sayings. Everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. There are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. The coldest winter I ever saw was the summer in San Francisco.
The Gospel of Mom.
Did you see my goal, Mommy? Right into the net.
It was a beauty.
Deep into the corner.
Impossible to defend. But of course you know, honey, that you can claim no personal credit for your goal.
Huh?
You are a skillful athlete, but you did not create your skill.
What do you mean? I practice hard. Coach says no one works harder than me.
And why do you practice hard?
So I'll get better and better and score more goals?
I mean, what gives you the ability to train hard? Why are you able to work harder at it than others?
Because I'm me.
That's exactly right, because of your temperament. But you did not make your temperament. You were born with it. You are the way you are because you were made that way. You are really a machine.
Huh?
You're a machine. So am I. We do what we were made to do. We originate nothing. Not even a thought. You cannot have an original thought.
Oh yeah? Here's an original thought. I don't understand what you're saying. How's that?
Tell me this. When you are sleeping, do you choose your dreams?
How can I choose something when I'm asleep?
Exactly. The same goes for conscious thought. Have you ever been bothered by a thought and you want your mind to stop thinking about it, but it won't? Your mind will think about what it wants to think about.
But I can make myself think of something different. There, I'm thinking of Good Boy. He's barking.
Did you decide to think of Good Boy?
No, I just decided to think of something else.
And what made you decide to think of something else?
You did. You said I couldn't do it.
So an influence from the outside, me, made you think of something else. We are products of outside forces. This takes us back to your soccer goal. A machine that produces something good cannot boast of its accomplishment. After all, it was made to produce that very thing. You're like a coffee maker. If you make good coffee, it is because you were created to make good coffee. No personal merit attaches to it. In other words, honey, your soccer goal is not something you can be proud of.
Thanks for the great talk, Mom. I really enjoyed it. Did Daddy tell you I'm going to work at the food shelf?
No, he didn't.
Molly's mom works there. She needs us to help out on Saturdays.
I see. You will be helping others. But you know, honey,
Ugh.
from the cradle to the grave, a person never does a single thing, does not have at its foremost object the securing of one's own peace of mind.
Huh?
Tell me this. Do you remember when you found that wooden unicorn in the park?
No.
I'm sure you do. And I asked you if it belonged to Lori, and you said no, because her unicorns were all stupid glass, and they were stupid.
No.
And Daddy and I believed you, and you played with it in your room for a while, but then you came to us and said that you remembered Lori had a wooden unicorn, and we took it over to her house, and she was so happy to get it back. Remember?
No.
Well, how did you feel when you were playing with it?
No.
And how did you feel when you took it back to her? I'm sure that you felt better. Charity, humanity, magnanimity, these are all the results of one master impulse, the necessity to secure self-approval, even a mother's love. A mother will do anything for her child. She will go naked to clothe her.
Don't do that.
And she will starve to see that her child has food, die that she may live. A mother takes pleasure in making these sacrifices. She does it for the reward, that peace, that contentment. If she did not, well, she would be miserable. A person cannot be happy without her own self-approval.
Look, when I say I'm going to work at the food shelf, why can't you just say, good for you, or I'm proud of you?
I'm afraid I can't. You have no choice but to work at the food shelf. There are people who can bear to see suffering and do nothing about it, and they lose nothing by the way of self-approval. But there are others who, when they see suffering, must act to relieve it. You are in the second group, and so you will help at the food shelf. You have no choice.
This philosophy is utterly dishumanizing.
Two goals this game.
That's right.
Good job.
At this point, I'm not even sure what that means.
It means you did a good job.
I've been telling my friends about your ideas.
Oh.
At school, on the playground.
Uh-huh.
My teacher wants to talk to you.
Oh.
She said what you were teaching me is, let me think, an inferior philosophy?
I look forward to meeting with her.
She asked me if you're unhappy.
What do you think?
I don't know. You seem pretty happy.
I am. And why do you think I'm pretty happy?
You were made that way. You're a machine. You're a coffee maker. Blah, blah, blah.
That is correct. If you are born with an unhappy temperament, nothing can make you happy. If you are born with a happy temperament, nothing can make you unhappy.
Don't you worry about making me unhappy.
Have I done that? Have I made you unhappy?
No.
Even though on the surface I have stripped humanity of its dignity, grandeur, and sublimity.
Huh?
Has anything I've said made you unhappy?
No.
And why is that?
Temperament. I don't think you need to talk to my teacher. I can handle it.
Are you sure? I will if you want me to.
I'll do it. I want to see why she doesn't like your ideas.
I'm so proud to be your mommy.
Proud? How can you be proud? You're a machine. You didn't make yourself. You made me the way I am because the way you were made. So you cannot be proud of anything, including me.
I forgot.